I told you about the wheatgrass juice. This is where it comes from. The juice comes from the wheatgrass itself. You grow it from wheat berries.
I'm Camille Lamb, aka the Beat Reporter, and I'm sitting here with Annette Larkins, who is possibly my hero and raw vegan and has been for quite some time now. And as you can see, it's had remarkable effects on preserving her health, her vitality, and her beautiful appearance. When somebody first looks at you, Annette, they may say 70 years old. That's impossible. She must have had surgery. Or they may say, well, it's got to be good genes. So what can you say to clear up those two hang-ups that people may have about believing that the raw diet is powerful?
Well, I've not had any surgery thus far. Can't never say never. I really believe, Camille, if I had to depend on my genes, I would be dead. I wouldn't be here because my mother died at 47 of breast cancer. Her mother died at 36 of breast cancer. My grandmother had sisters who died of breast cancer early on. And diabetes is prominent in my family. My grandfather, my aunt, my mother's sister, they all had these debilitating diseases, these maladies, that at this point I seemingly have escaped.
Right.
And I think my faculties are as sharp or sharper than when I was younger, quite frankly. I just don't buy into that about the cells debilitating. It doesn't for me.
What is it exactly that you eat? What does your diet consist of? And I'm sure it varies.
Fruits, nuts, vegetables, and seeds. Now when I say seeds, I eat raw seeds, of course, but I sprout a lot of seeds, like alfalfa, mung. I do mung beans, I broccoli sprouts I have. I'll sprout anything. It's just normal for me. It's nothing to be surprised about. Shouldn't we all be doing? This one is pineapple juice. And here, that doesn't look like orange juice, does it? Because it's not. It's carrot juice.
One of the things that really drew me to you, that your message is positive.
Shake, shake, shake your banana, shake, shake, shake your banana, shake, shake, shake your banana, shake it and get it down.
And I feel like that's the best way to touch people and the best way to motivate people to make changes in their own lives, rather than say, well, don't eat this and don't eat that and this is dangerous and this is contaminated. And that's important for people to be educated about, but that's not, I mean, sometimes fear does motivate change. But it's not the best way to motivate change, I don't think.
I think not. Here, have you heard of stevia? This is stevia. We've got, this is a lemon balm. Anything here you can put in your mouth. You know, the aloe, I just like to see it grow, and then when anybody gets a cut or a burn or something, you put it on there, and it's very effective immediately. Here we have some curly parsley. And this one is this one right here is parsley, but it's Italian parsley.
It's so pungent. You can smell it on your finger if you just touch it. Are herbs very important to your raw, non-cooking?
Yeah, because it kind of spices things up. You know, it gives it a good flavor. These are chives. We got more curly parsley. You know, look at what those had borne some beautiful peppers. And we've got tomato plants back here, rosemary, I don't know if you got that one. I have two nonis in there. I have one around front, but as I was telling Camille, what happened is we had a freeze come through here. Tasted it.
I inhaled it.
But that's so good, she couldn't even get to chew it. Well, boy, I tell you. And so, you know, it's really about not just surviving. That's not what I'm about. I don't really want to just survive. Many people are doing that. But I want to thrive. That's what it's about for me, and that's what I'm doing, for real, you know.
Me too.
All right.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. That's what I say.
Karen, you've been an integral part of the raw food community now for well over 35 years. Can you take us back to where it all started for you in the beginning?
Well, where it started for me is very interesting because I started with Dr. Ann Wigmore, who is more or less the beginnings for all of us in this portion of it in our lifetime. There were hygienists and Shelton and people before her, but Dr. Ann Wigmore brought it to the forefront during our time. So I was actually her student. I was a vegetarian for many years. I actually started out as a meat eater, but I was a vegetarian, and I was pretty comfortable in that position, but I was still searching because I didn't feel as I knew I could. I had a lot of illness in my family, and I wasn't the healthiest, strongest person myself. And so I met Dr. Ann Wigmore, and she introduced me to the raw movement, and it was like my whole life changed. It was like going from being a meat eater to a vegetarian, from a vegetarian to a vegan, from a vegan to a raw foodist. Each step along the way took me incredibly leaps and bounds into how I looked, how I felt, how I thought. It really translated into every aspect of my life. So I started with Dr. Ann Wigmore, who kind of started it for us. I feel very fortunate in that.
What would you say were the noticeable benefits in your health when you made this change to a different lifestyle?
Oh, wow. My energy levels, my sleep patterns, the fact that no illness, no sickness. I mean, I can talk about the benefits 35 years later. I've been a vegan 45 years, but the benefits 35 years later, which I think your listeners should really be interested in. What's going to happen to me along the way? I'm 67 years old. I don't know what illness is. I don't know what tiredness is. I have no wrinkles, no lines. I mean, I do have wrinkles, but not what a typical 67-year-old person would look like. I have the same body I had at 18. I work 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. I take a professional advanced ballet class with girls 18 and under. Don't you think you want to join my team? Because I'm not special. This is what I need your listeners to understand. I'm not special. We all have this capability. We are self-regenerating organisms, and the only reason you're getting tired and sick and old is because you're putting too much of the wrong material in and not enough of the right material in. And the whole reality is it's cause and effect. You can't get away from it. So what have I enjoyed? I don't know what illness is. I don't know what sickness is. And I get 25-year-old guys still hitting on me.
Oh, that's amazing, isn't it? That's fantastic. Karen, you're 67 years of age, and you look many years younger than that. What would you say is the key to your looking so youthful?
I would say that having an open mind, allowing myself continued education. You never arrive. Yes, I have the label of raw foodist, but I think the primary thing is I cleanse and detox my body a minimum of 4 times a year. Minimum. People would say, well, why would you do that? You're raw foods, you're vegan, you don't drink, smoke, do drugs. Why would you? Because I'm living in a very bizarre world where it isn't this. We aren't supposed to be living under the conditions we're living in, the oxygen levels, the atmosphere, the chemicals. We're dealing with it on a continual basis, even if you're eating organic foods, even if you're, and here in the United States, we have it a little worse than you do in your country and other countries. We have genetically modified foods. Even if I'm eating organic, the corn is genetically modified. So for me, the key, my number one key, is I cleanse and detox my body a minimum of 4 times a year to break down those layers of toxicity that I'm building up without even trying, just by being alive.
It's all interrelated. So the kind of food we eat and the vibration that it carries, how it was taken care of, the hormones and the chemicals that are pumped into it, the rancid soil that it's grown in, all of that is frequency and vibration that can, of course, invade the body temple, the cells of your body temple that won't replicate properly. All of that allows for other kind of toxic chemicals to move through your body, which will of course affect your mood, affect your perception. Your perception then determines your experience in life. So all of that's interrelated. You see, from the kind of food you eat, the kind of thoughts you think, the kind of actions you ultimately take, coming from a low frequency, a low vibration, you end up creating a world for yourself that's not about happiness or joy or bliss or creativity, and you kind of become part of the crowd of the walking dead, those who are sleepwalking in life.
The biggest challenge of today for human beings is there is a negative gravitational pull to go in the other direction. It really is. Everything that is insane is considered sane in my world. So it's not very easy to step outside of what's considered conventional and normal. It's very difficult to step outside of it. So if someone starts to make a change in their diet or their lifestyle, they receive a lot of ridicule. You know, it's like, what are you doing? Or that's different. Or, ooh, what is that you're eating? And you become uncomfortable. And it's very easy to slide into and be comfortable with what everyone else is doing. But I do think that once you step on the path, it isn't all negative, because the body is meant to thrive. It's not only meant to survive, but to thrive. We have this inner intuition. It's a book. It's called Intuition. We know what's right. It's tapping into it.
In the journey to become a champion, there is going to be the urge to give up. There is going to be the desire to quit. And that is a natural human response, because in order to be the best, in order to change, in order to step ahead of the crowd, in order to get into something new, it takes courage. And therefore, you know, there's going to be another energy there, which is, let's get back in the comfort zone.
Even people who have a strong spiritual practice, it is wise to monitor what goes inside of your mouth, because you end up using your spiritual practice to overcome the toxic energy that you place in your body temple. So if you want all pistons firing, you know, then what you eat, what you drink, what you think, your intention, all of that's extremely important.
The opportunity for people that are struggling in life, that are having health issues, I want to encourage people to realize there aren't too many health issues that you really can't overcome. And your body has that God-given built-in remedial capabilities. All you have to do is understand that we have to live according to natural law. By living according to natural law, what you give up is going to free your body up to do what it was meant to do from the very beginning.
So when I learned from Gene Stanley the fruitarian way of life, and also exercises, you know, and mental work and spiritual work on a daily basis, basically start when you get up in the morning first. You've got to be like your own kind of policeman with your own thought process, because, you know, we're bombarded with negativity and anxiety problems. People are dying, and there's accidents, and there's wars, and there's rapes, and there's horrible things going on all the time. So you always have to make sure, as much as you can, to stay in a positive frame of mind. You know, the glass is always half full, no matter what happens. And you have to pray, and you have to have faith in God and faith in yourself, and you know, find your purpose in life. It happened for me when I turned 50. I just knew I was going to be a public speaker. And it's just interesting when you know, when you make a decision and you make a commitment, how things flow into your life.
Something inside has to light up, some level of inspiration, in order to keep people going. And I believe that that inspiration is knowing that what awaits on the other side is something better than they could have ever even known.
It's a long, difficult road, but I do think that we are making inroads into it. There is an awareness. There are people waking up. It's about waking up. People are walking around asleep on our planet. They're not paying attention. You know, you hear little buzzwords of what's going on with the environment, but what are we doing in our lives specifically to make those changes? We aren't working with the whole picture enough, but I think it is, the seeds are being planted.
So mainstream people really need to get with this, because many of them are like sheep walking to slaughter. You know, they're just in a haze. They think they've arrived on the planet to be consumers. They're addicted to the next mall, the next fast food restaurant, the next bigger and brighter hamburger or something. And they're killing themselves and setting themselves up to be leached on by the pharmaceutical companies till they die. And that's not why we're here. We're here to be creative expressions of the infinite. We are the stars looking back at themselves, with all of the power that's within us being used to conform to a sick society. And now we need to set ourselves free to heal, to allow the power to express, so that we can not only be the creative individuals that we're called to be, but to then build a world in which every boy and girl, man and woman has their basic needs met, so we can harvest everyone's gifts and talents and absolutely build heaven on earth.